So it has been acknowledged at a high level that disaster risk reduction is an inextricable part of responsible climate change policies and practices. We already know that climate change will increase disasters. There is no reason to wait for disasters to strike. Disaster risk reduction is based on a philosophy of prevention, not reaction. Its bottom line is the need to reduce people's vulnerabilities to natural hazards, whether through better community preparedness and early warning, through more public awareness and political engagement, or through more risk-sensitive development, like what to grow or build, where and how. The way we build, organize, and manage our communities, cities, and economies can make the difference between catastrophe or weathering the storm. We need scaled-up disaster prevention to cope with the changes already happening and which are predicted to get worse. The role of women in these preventive efforts is utterly crucial. We need women's leadership at all levels to make decision-making truly responsive and participatory manner. We also need to rigorously apply what we have learned from gender perspectives when using disaster risk reduction for climate change adaptation. This is vital to how all of us in this planet will cope with the increased disasters that climate change and the increasing vulnerability will bring. I probably do not need to tell you that women are already more vulnerable and disadvantaged compared to men around the world, or that, unsurprisingly, disasters exacerbate gender inequalities that already exist. Women bear the brunt of disasters and are often left out of disaster management and response plans. As we heard Dr. Kim and Senator Legarda, there are many stories showing this around the world. But the story of women and disasters is not simply one of victimhood. Women are key to making communities and nations better prepared and more resilient to natural hazards. Women's capacities and strength cannot be overlooked if we are to take up all weapons in the fight against the effects of climate change that climate change could have on human society. Why do women hold so much unused potential in this fight? Women in developing countries are still largely responsible for securing food, water, and energy in all homes. Drought is going to be hitting hard in developing countries across Africa and Asia. And collecting and managing water in so many places is women's work. Preventing and managing flood, sea level rise, and landslides takes environmental and natural resource management. And women are key natural resource managers and guardians of environmental knowledge in traditional societies. Thank you. Thank you. Gathering fuel, food, and medicine, laboring in fields, tending to the forest, rivers, and shorelines. When it comes to money and assets in struggling communities, women's private or unofficial earnings, emergency food sources, belongings, and savings are so often the fallback when the official main source of income, men's work, has been wiped out by disasters. Indeed, women's forethought is often a kind of crisis insurance. This interesting fact is a symptom of a very specific real-world gendered distribution of work and labor. In particular, the fact that women's labor and potential contributions to making good decisions for the whole community is devalued and overlooked under normal circumstances. This is why a gender analysis simply cannot be left out of any assessment of risks or left out of plans for adapting to natural hazards and climate change.